Let me share my screen. Yeah, this is a very good place to learn about systems design.
Mhm.
By Go is a very good website. You can go through these. They really explain well about the problems. And it saves a lot of time compared to YouTube or books if you are applying for jobs immediately. But this
Mhm.
would cover only probably one or two rounds on the design. Usually in any 6-digit paying company, they will have 4 to 5 interviews. Uh, 3 should be on coding. 2 to 3 should be on coding. 1 or 1.5 would be on systems design, like asking exactly same question. I think this is one of the most popular questions in last 5 years. So such questions they'll ask, but the expectations will be different from engineers to managers to you know other distinguished roles. But this question is common. So
Mhm.
rounds will be there, 1 to 2, and when it comes to the final round, it will be behavioral. So around
Krishna, bhai, can I also record from my side, or yes, you will send me the recording?
no, don't worry. I'll share you the recording video.
Okay, sir.
I
Thank
have
you, sir.
even
Okay.
the previous session video too. I'll share that.
Mhm.
Um, Good. You can just go to Google, YouTube and search for Black Hole Stack. You will find such recordings. Anyway,
Mhm.
I'll share you the
Uh,
channel. So where we were, yeah, this is one of the popular questions in last 5 years. Uh, Now before going to the solution, see, solution would be very simple. You can just go through, you can get it. Anyone can get it. Then I don't need to take a session dedicatedly to just explain what is here, right? I would like to explain you something more than this. So this will become smaller to you. And in interview, say like 10 students are there. Sorry, not students, candidates, I would say. So all 10 candidates are reading this website and attending the interview, asking the same questions. Like if you ask how to design a chart application means the same questions. Is it mobile or web? I see when I have been doing interviews for Amazon, especially for campus interviews or maybe engineer interviews, almost all the students are answering same for the question.
mhm.
But the vacant position is only one, right? I can take all students. So I should pick best
Mhm.
among them. And anybody can
Yes, yes, sir.
memorize, right? Anybody can memorize these questions. These are clarification questions. And believe me, every candidate has asked me the same set of questions. Maybe the order was different.
Mhm.
And I could catch it that they have been reading same thing. And the first candidate is sharing them the question which I have been asking to the other ones who
Mhm.
are in the waiting list. You understand? So everyone
Yeah.
knows they would be getting similar question or same question. So they keep going through these kind of websites and revise their memory and then just jump in and ask the same questions. It's not wrong to ask questions, but the purpose is to evaluate best among them. And those who has
Mhm.
really done are hands-on at least one of these portions. And secondly, uh, as an interviewer, more focus is on whether you are working with a team or not. Okay. So see, there is no one person design WhatsApp. Initially, at the first phase, maybe founders would have developed it. But after, it became a what, $2 billion, I think 2.5 billion user product. Now 2.5 billion users, I think so, not billion, maybe billion messages have been happening through WhatsApp. So if such billions of transactions are happening, there won't be one developer working on managing the system. Just giving you an example from my experience with Amazon. For inventory, for Amazon website, the core amazon.com, we had around 18, now it's around 20 plus websites are there across the globe. Number of technical engineers are around 30,000 plus engineers in all roles at all levels, including managers, are working on Amazon.com website alone. That is for US. For other websites, although half of the code is same, still lots of customization is happening. And the local developers or maybe centralized developers like low cost regions like India, Middle East, or some departments are distributed across globe. So, so what I'm telling you is 30,000 developers are working on one website. Assume that. Now, all 30,000 don't have a single design like this. Each developer, or maybe 2 pizza teams is the concept. 8 developers work for a product, for a single threaded service. Say like, if I say a 2 pizza means 2 pizzas should be distributed equally to the team in a meeting. So that's why it is called 2 pizza. So the maximum number can be ideally 8 to 10. So that is called 2 pizza, and one manager, one software development manager usually lead that team. And that team is responsible for one or maybe 2 things completely end to end, right from design, development, maintenance. That's how it works. So now if you consider authentication service can be done by either one team or a set of teams, depends on the scalability and number of microservices which are being done. So if you take Amazon, just order management system, or I would say, yeah, data related to orders and that whole order flow, it itself is having 130 plus microservices. Okay. And the architectures, at least 20 plus architectural designs like this are available. And we don't know where would you be working on if you join to that event at that department. Okay. That's why, irrespective of the accuracy of the solution, interviewers will look for your involvement and 90% of the time as a developer, if you work in a product, you will spend time to understand who is the point of contact to see 130 microservices I have given for an example, right? If you are working on one microservice to change one portion like this, say like you are responsible to add a new column in WhatsApp, you need to add one more column. In next version, you need to add one more column called encrypted, whether the message is encrypted or not, which is already there. Some users choose end-to-end encryption, and for some people it is optional. Similarly, one more message called is business, means business account and personal account are there, right? For WhatsApp. Is business true or false? You need to add those 2. Now you need to modify this in probably almost all 130 microservices. One can be add message. One can be dealing with messages. One more can be dealing with the reporting platform, like reporting in the sense metrics. How many messages are coming each day? How many users are actively using it? What is the peak hour? All such details we need to get. That is called reporting. Okay. There is no table representing that reporting in this design. So that's why we don't know as an interviewer which area they would be focusing on. If you are recruiting for a reporting platform, they will focus more on the database model. But if you are hiring, for a core development team, like building microservices, they would focus more on load balancers, middle layer, like API designs, and then the session management, caching. This is the core, API one. Even in that, one team can dedicatedly work on APIs or maybe a particular Microsoft service development. Then they will focus more on low-level design, like classes, objects, and the interactions, whether you need to use interfaces. Is a means inheritance, has a means composition. And there are also small difference between aggregation and composition. There you have solid, lots of stuff is there. You might have studied in our masters. But I would like to just tap you on, this one solution is not fit for all. And interviewers, we don't know whether the interviewer come from engineering development background or data engineering background or support engineering background or completely from product or business background. They don't have any idea on complete technology, but they have idea about the systems. Okay, because they have been dealing or working with the engineering team, so they know how the system works. So that is called high level design. So they would focus more on these areas. So in summary, how if interviewer asks you to design a WhatsApp system, the first question you should ask him is, it's very vague, like it's big design, complexity, lot of complexities are there. Which part should I focus on? Whether do you want me to focus on something like feature mode? Say like these are the features. In this here, maybe if you see in other places, there are many more features. You can ask, do you want me to focus completely on one part, like only the charting portion? If he says yes, then the developer is looking more into your knowledge on networking. Charting means what? It deals with networking. What networking protocols you need to use. How, like you need to use connection oriented or connectionless. What is that? Connection oriented means TCP protocol. Connectionless means UCD protocol. Okay. What is the advantage with connection oriented protocol? These kind of questions which I usually ask engineers.
Okay.
Connection, the connection oriented protocol means 100% quality. The data, the message will be definitely, sent to the user, but it can be delayed. Okay, why?
Like as an homogeneous, as you said last.
Yeah. For every packet we are sending to the receiver, we expect that TCP protocol expects response from them. Am I receiving? Have you received my packet? The receiver should send acknowledgement. Yes, received. Packet received on XYZ. And then it will send second, and then third, fourth, and then it waits for the responses. So it's like two-way communication. So 100% data quality. Suppose it will wait for few seconds. If there is no response coming, it will send the same message again. That is,
until it get the response. Yeah.
yeah, that is the property of connection oriented. Whereas a connectionless for WhatsApp, I don't think connectionless would work in a chat message. But connectionless means I'll send the packets and I don't care what happens after that.
Mm-hmm.
It is advantage is speed. Drawback is quality. I don't know whether the message
Mm-hmm.
has been sent or not. Now the question from the interviewer is, which one do you use? Connection oriented or connectionless?
Obvious correction oriented, which gives the feedback whether the
Don't be one side. Think a little bit more.
okay. I would what should I?
Yeah. See, this is what exactly things we missing. We have hundreds and tens of uh, videos available in the YouTube, which are being viewed by millions of candidates. Millions,
Uh-huh.
I can say million views, million, 2 million, or even many more millions for these designs. I'm telling you,
Uh-huh.
you will be very much disappointed because the interview is exactly these are my real questions I have done at least for 100 plus candidates at Amazon like this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I'm again telling there is no single style of interview. This is my style of interview.
Okay.
My colleagues may want to know more about big picture. They'll go by breadth. Some
Mm-hmm.
colleagues will go more depth. They will ask you to write even code for the TCP protocol,
Mm-hmm.
if you know, or maybe that multitasking to send a group messages or so. They would ask you, can you create me a multi-threaded chart? At least core logic, creating threads and then calling them through TCP. If you remember, they would go that level. Or at least they would ask you, can you create me a simple protocol, maybe sliding window or something, just to see your confidence at coding or algorithms. So even if it is Amazon or Microsoft or Google, there is no similarity between interviewers or
Okay.
respect to the technical expectations. But
Mm-hmm.
but the commonality is number of rounds, the expectations, the time, these are common. And the entry of feedback, these are common. But the perception of interviewer is related to the role fitment.
Mm-hmm.
The role, say like SDE, but SDE is core work is on what? They would also see those aspects. So so that's where usually a lot of candidates put my interview is very easy. Because just now I completed my interview, it just went with one question like this, one-on-one chat with low latency delivery. So I have done a chart, multi-user chart design and then coding. That's it. But the thing is, this is not the WhatsApp design, right? The intent is just to start with how much depth you can go, also how much breadth you can go. Those are the important things. And to
The
learn
logical thing.
everything, you need to read multiple books, articles, also, YouTube videos are these to make sure we are touching upon minimal topics, minimal. We should not miss any area. That's why we can still refer them.
Mm-hmm.
And those videos or these articles are not 100% brings, uh, you know, guarantee, guarantee, but they'll just give you initial boost to give confidence. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the myth which I would like to clear to to senior or maybe junior engineers. Also, here I'm not much involving into the solution because this one I will revise back to these solutions once we complete our previous session topics, like what are the load balancer algorithms, like for fundamentals. Once we close, we will come back. But here I would like to at least touch upon this part because I rejected many candidates when they went by sites. I would like to tell you. If you say connection oriented, that is correct. There is no, no complaint for text messages. The reason is, if it is connection oriented, blue ticks concept is there, right? Double tick
Yes.
and blue ticks.
Mhm.
That needs connection oriented protocol kind of notifications, right? So you are sending a message, it is received, and then
Mhm.
receiving acknowledge. It means you are expecting 100% quality. That needs connection oriented protocol. Very good. Now, do you really need 100% quality for a audio or video call? WhatsApp audio or WhatsApp video? How
It
many times?
depends upon the requirement.
Exactly. If there is low internet, do you need
Mhm.
100% quality?
Mm, not 100%, but I will expect somewhat good if there is a low internet.
Okay. Say like if you consider a image
Mhm.
or a video, especially image or video,
Mhm.
WhatsApp has a size limit, right?
Yes.
It can remove the quality of that image if it is a high size image, high resolution
Mhm.
image. It removes the
Mhm.
quality, but makes sure the image is still visible with less number of pixels will be removed in a dense area and still good,
Mhm.
right? You can compare if you have two mobiles, download the size of the image you are sending versus you have received and see the quality. If not, WhatsApp in many platforms. Same way video,
Yeah,
WhatsApp
it
demands
compress the image size obviously, and as
yeah,
well as reduce the pixels.
right. So that concept there also it may not 100 demand 100% quality. Similarly, if you go back to video or audio calls, here sending video or audio means sending constant packets of data between the systems, right? Sender and receiver. Sender's
Mhm.
audio is sending, receiver's audio is, receiving one side and again sending back, reverting back with a
Yes.
new content. So it's continuous streaming, right? So when it's
Mhm.
happening continuously, the conversation in a meeting, obviously there can be some packets missing. The
Yes.
internet is small or slow. The other servers might miss because your voice needs 100 packets to deliver. But internet is slow. It can able to deliver only 75 packets per second. Then obviously every time 25 packets are either slow or it is picking, I mean, it is just filtering some uh, content and then still able to manage. That's where we still have some audio or video quality issues in a call, right? Long
Mhm.
distance calls or maybe in a low internet. But still the conversation can happen, but the quality is not exactly what we are sending. Always
Mhm.
there is some difference in the resolution. So that is where connectionless protocol comes into picture.
Okay.
Okay. And also
Really, we don't want anything to be missed. Like everything you want
speed
it to be
matters.
get delivered, like exact what we send
Yeah.
it.
And quality versus speed. Speed matters, not the quality. Quality is
Mhm.
needed, minimum quality, but maximum speed as much as we can. Because the sender is constantly sending the packets through voice or both voice and video.
Mhm.
Then obviously here and there we would miss something. But when it comes to the text or video or text messages, definitely we need to have blue ticks, right? So it requires connection oriented with 100% quality. You cannot filter a text, what I'm sending. It should be 100% text. Okay. For
Mhm.
media files, there is some leverage in between. Any questions? That's it. If you tell this,
Uh,
the interviewer will go for other parts. to check your quality. Like the other part
Mm-hmm.
can be, okay, very good. Can you just tell me a high level design? What things you need commonly? Maybe I need to have a multi-user, one service which needs one system, one
Mm-hmm.
microservice, which would be the initial person to receive and maintain all the chat messages. What I mean is this service is the bridge between sender and receiver. Why do you need this service? Because if sender sends, but a receiver doesn't have internet connection, this service is responsible to store that, uh, in a queue,
So,
waiting queue.
mm-hmm.
Whenever this receiver comes back, then that waiting queue has to send it back. Unfortunately, that portion is missing here. Chat service, but it is internally using what? A waiting queue. And whether that waiting queue, what would be the waiting queue size? That's the question. Next question.
Mm-hmm.
10 messages, 100, 1,000, million. How would you define? Or do you store that in a database? Suppose the user is not available for 10 days. Do you
Mm-hmm.
still need to maintain the queue in main memory, or will you store it in a database?
Database name.
Database in the sense, if I turn off my app, if the user switch off, if this service is turned off,
Mm-hmm.
tomorrow, or maybe the mobile is switched off after sending the message,
Mm-hmm.
and the server has, say, like main memory means RAM, read only.
Mm-hmm.
The RAM is having probably 32 gigabytes or maybe 64 gigabytes in a cloud platform.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't have more than that. You cannot store, even say like if you dedicatedly put one whole host or computer to store these waiting messages. 128 GB is the maximum capacity. Now the question is, what if across the world, the waiting queue size can be 250 or maybe 500 GB in a month? It means in 1 month, I have 500 GB worth size data, which is not yet sent to the receivers because they don't have internet on. How do you handle that? One computer is not enough. You might need multiple,
Obviously, yeah,
you
multiple.
multiple computers, but still it's very costly thing, right? The capacity
Mm-hmm.
of RAM cost is more compared to the hard disk card cost.
Mm-hmm.
So better to store that into a hard disk. Now what's the problem? Reading the cost, hard disk is definitely cheaper than RAM, but the speed of hard disk is always less compared to the RAM.
Mm-hmm.
What if all these receivers have switched on their mobile in 1 hour time? Within 1 hour, 500 GB messages should be sent to, say, like 1 crore users, 1 crore mobile or computer devices. How do you send that in 1 hour time? Your hard disk is not that capable. Hard disk speed might be hardly how much, say like 100 messages per minute.
Mm-hmm.
So you could hardly send 36,000 messages, or maybe, if you have multiple hard disks like that, you could still balance them in an hour. Maybe 1,000 into 36,000, probably 3.6 million. You can still able to
Mm-hmm.
manage, not guaranteed, right? To
Mm-hmm.
send 500 GB data, probably the number of messages can be 200 million. So you need to calculate size of the hardware required and whether it is feasible or not. In that case, what other options are there? Can we balance between both? Like I will store some data, maybe for up to 1 hour in a queue. After that, I will store into hard disk. Or maybe
Mm-hmm.
I can balance them. So just think in those lines. But if you see any day, WhatsApp is sending, once you connect to the internet, within 1 minute, you will receive all WhatsApp messages,
Yes.
text messages, but the multimedia files, it doesn't send. It will just send one image. If you click that, then it will start downloading. That's the time where it is reading from hard disk. But
Mm-hmm.
multimedia URL addresses are being sent there, but not the real message. So a lot of, interesting concepts interviewers can tap on.
Mm-hmm.
So any interview, they will target with any one particular area and go in depth. And at once you give them answer, maybe that depth they will go like 10 minutes or so. Once they go, then they will continue discussing about the other topics. Okay. So
Okay.
database, service discovery, lots of concepts. So I have told you, right? The queue. This is the queue. This queue is
So for
for
the
the data
after a
center.
certain time, the messages goes to the database. For the
Yeah,
certain time, they will wait in a queue, or else they will go to the database. Once the user, the receiver came online, the data is fetched. That
all
is right.
everything should be stored in database. There is nothing stored in main memory
Mm.
until the session time. The session can
Mhm.
be 1 hour, or or in finance when we were working, probably the session time was 1 day. The reason
Mhm.
was it's financial data, right?
Mhm.
We should not miss a single transaction because it one transaction can deal with $1 million for a vendor. So we need to
Mhm.
handle that for 1 day. After that, we have to find mechanism to retry that. Uh,
Okay.
to put it database and again retry to process invoices. I was talking about invoices,
Mhm.
invoices, doing a lot of the doing
And meanwhile, if we need to
stuff.
fix anything, we can do it in a time, in that time period as well.
Right. So it's completely depends on the team to team. We were focusing more about reporting initially and then building the transactional system and then selling,
Mhm.
selling some features as a service to third party system. Example is Seller
Mhm.
Central. Seller Central is a completely external website for all the teams, all the vendors, around
Mhm.
500 million, sorry, 5 million vendors across globe. So
Mhm.
it depends on the team's requirement, customer requirements, and then the team's design. But constantly it has been improving over time. But when you see the internet resources, they are not improving the way the real systems are improved. Like now WhatsApp community concept has come. WhatsApp group chats, group calls, lot more message info in a group. Lots of features WhatsApp has been delivering, but these internet resources are not having all that data. So you need to keep, these are starting points, but you need to start thinking in those lines. Suppose if I am a
Mhm.
developer of this feature, how would I design? So for each feature, you should have your own design and then consolidate them. But interviewers never expect you to do entire WhatsApp at all in
Mhm.
45 minutes interview,
But it's just to have a whole idea, like how the things work.
right? So that's where you should know fundamentals very well. And then applying those fundamentals every day whenever you are free, think, oh, how did they
Mhm.
build this feature? Suppose if I am the developer, how should I build that? That
Mhm.
intuitiveness will improve your design skills. There is no single resource available. At least for algorithms, problem solving, you have some good resources like Lead Code, like
Mhm.
resources are there. Algo Expert is also one of the good resources. Lead Code, Neat Code, and
Mhm.
a dozen plus
Code
YouTube
Academy
channels. Yeah.
for
So
it.
they are all good for coding rounds. Two rounds you can clear easily. But
Mhm.
the designs, your intuitiveness, and also trying to do some hands-on coding, building a small game or small chart application with your own, that increases a lot. Uh, you know, probability will be more to clear in interview. That confidence gives
Mhm.
to do that. Also, like keep discussing with senior engineers, whomever you are interacting with. Hey, what kind of design you would do day to day in your company? If it is non-confidential, please tell me. Because some confidential things I did not tell a lot of confidential things about Amazon because it's as per the contract, employees or ex-employees should not reveal about the Amazon's underlying architecture. Okay. So
Okay.
we shouldn't tell the algorithms which we have developed there, but we can just give overview or whatever the public content available here we can do. There are a lot of patents available to them which we should not disclose. Anyway, but I hope I would able to let you know that design interview means not what is available in the internet. It 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 is completely up to the interviewer, team fitment, your role fitment, and experience. Also,
Mhm.
the kind of knowledge you have. Some designs you can drive your own. If you are a very good
Mhm.
data structures, algorithms, coding, you can drive more in the low level aspects. And high level, you can say, I know this, but I have not done that anytime.
Mhm.
But I'm interested to learn. That's why this is what I have learned from internet.
Mhm.
Then they will respect your answer. Don't try to say this is the only way to build WhatsApp or any system.
Okay.
Try to say that this is what I understand, but there can be much more because it's being developed by
Yeah.
thousands of.
Mhm.
Okay.
Never get a chance to work on
But
the
show
tool,
them,
but I have. Yeah.
give them enough confidence that you could learn, work as a team, and deliver that way. So ask
Mhm.
clarification questions when needed and try to explain them. Also seek their inputs. Is it make sense? Is it
Mhm.
what you are expecting? Ask such questions.
Mhm. Okay.
Any questions before we drop off because it will be done in next 1 minute.
Yeah, I think so far it's good. So, okay, I will
Yeah, you
work
can
on
start
the
with
data
this website.
structures and all, and try to build a simple basic project
Okay, nice.
to just to have some experience, like
Yeah,
how the things works
yeah.
actually hands on.
In our sessions, I will continue discussing more fundamentals on the system design, those things, because if you are trying as an experienced engineer, these these things are not just for interview, for the real work as well. So I'll start. But today I just want to give you the very much things needed to bring
Mm-hmm.
you confidence.
Mm-hmm.
So to give you the real interview sense.